Hello and welcome back to the stream. I need to be down like a little bit, I think. Or wait. This is as far down as it goes. It's the camera that is wrong. Okay, I don't have a way to fix that right now. So we're just gonna deal with me being propped off at the head. Hopefully the audio is okay. As the title says, we're doing a style study of Mike Krahulik from Penny Arcade, who many of you might know as the progenitors of PAX, the big convention. They also are a huge proponent. I don't know if they funded or founded it, but they also do Child's Play, which is like getting games and stuff into children's hospitals. You know, little stuff. Little. No, they do a lot of cool work. I highly respect Mike and Jerry. They are pretty much what got me to start doing webcomics when I first was starting, so it only feels right that we study one of my, not really an exaggeration to say, heroes and biggest inspirations. I will not do this justice, but I will try. Okay, so let me, for anyone who's unaware, allow me to introduce, hold up. Window capture. Yeah, that's probably good. So, for anyone who is not hip to the scheme, as the modern kids probably say, this is Penny Arcade, and they've done this 3-panel comic for, I want to say 20 years. It's still going, so thankfully they're still doing it. But I've watched so much of their Penny Arcade TV to learn how to make comics, and this was just for Styduary. This made absolute sense for me to study the people that inspired me to start everything. So he has this style he does when he draws them. So we're gonna capture that a little bit. And then we're going to move to he had this like series, and again, this is what inspired me to do everything the way I did it, was observing these guys. But they also had these like short form comics, and they kind of had their own style a little bit. This one is their series Automata, which is like 1950s-esque, like retrofuturism. Like there's he's an automaton, and he's part of this police force. So we're gonna study that. And one last side of it is another series they have called Wheel Saint. Now this one kind of captures his like comic strip style, but it was so cool that I had to. So for anyone not in the know, that's what we're doing. Let's see. So let's move that away. Bum, 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 bum. I'm excited to actually be doing some art instead of just touching stuff up. I get you. Well, then you're probably not the one to be telling me about my sound issues or how my sound is. Okay. Oh, it only downloaded one panel. That's hilarious. That's fine. That's all we need to start working. Oh, hey, guys. I didn't see you there. Well, hopefully you heard some of my gushing about Mike Krahulik. Absolute hero to me, so we're going to study his style. He's already inspired me a little bit. You'll probably see it as soon as I pull it up. It's pretty unabashed, I'm not gonna lie to you. Oh wait, let me put that over here. That face shape look familiar? So this is Watts from my comic series Murderlock. So I've already taken inspiration from them. Now we're just making it. We're making it complete. I hope y'all are doing okay over there. Hope everyone's having a good night. Or did I do that? Okay, anyway. So first, I think I'm going to I'm gonna trace some of these shapes he uses to see if I can find a pattern. All right. And by trace, I mean I'm kind of trying to grab the shapes he's using. It's kind of like a cross between how anime is drawn and like a real comic-y animation style. Because with anime, if you imagine this like a so you would have to round this head off like a lot more, but they tend to center the bottom of the eyes along the cheekbone. So then you would have your eye like down here. Instead of up a little bit. So he took that really enhanced cheekbone and he mixed in some pretty unique shapes. So this is like I'm trying to think, like it's almost like a spade, you know, mixed with a really rounded rectangle. Looking at the composition of it. So if we take this off, I guess I said spade, but that's more like a heart. Except, you know, that would have to be like the whole like orbital sphere. So that's really cool. Also, some of these things like I couldn't have noticed at my skill level I was when I was just imitating. I also like that he has such unique shapes that they're recognizable from a distance, and that's what they always tell you about like character design is like the silhouette. Can you tell who it is by the silhouette? And I'd say if you were in the webcomic world, you probably could. You know what, let me break down the internal shapes later. Alright, so he's got these big like half moons, or like you know what I mean, like a moon slice. And I think they even made like fun of themselves in a comic a while back about over the years, like the hair swoops getting bigger and bigger. If you are at all stage name, eh? Man, look at these just big, cool shapes he's using. It really gives like a lot of life to the character when you get to use like big, bold shapes. But it's like an area I've always been too scared to go because I don't know, I chased this idea that I wanted to be respected as an artist, not just a like a cartoon artist, but then I'm like, wait, cartoon is great. I shouldn't have thought that at all. But you know, we all have our pride and our hubris. Alright. And you can see actually some of Matt Groening's influence. Like looking at this ear, like these half-rounded shapes. Of course, that had to be streamlined for animation, so they like eventually chilled out on some of that on The Simpsons. But you know, this is a webcomic that comes out 3 times a week, so he doesn't have to take quite as many shortcuts to. Yeah, look at that. We only have a couple of shapes in, and you can tell that this is that character. What I aspire to. I don't know how he came up with these shapes, you know? I mean, I'm sure he had his inspiration too, you know. He talks about some of it, but damned if I could remember any of that right now. Because that's the thing, like, if you bust out a couple of shapes like that, you're like, oh, like, man, this character's almost done. I don't know why I was trying to go off of memory. Oh, I almost had it, actually. That almost looks like a Japanese symbol. Yeah, oh man, I keep wanting to jump the gun and just figure everything out, you know? Big shapes first. He's really good at rounded shapes. I'm not so good at that. I don't do round so much. Like, look at that. That's just a parabola. Or like the Taco Bell, you know? Man, brilliant. Yeah, see what I mean? Like, even the fingers are curved. There's nary a point to them. And this is a pretty standard. Right, yeah, I'm like, man, if I do it, it looks stupid. But if they do it, they're geniuses. Now that being said, you know, this artist did not start out there. If you go back to their early comics, it's a lot more measured, and he actually grew to be more like bolder and outrageous and less, and this, not to sound like an insult, but less detail oriented. Like, use a big shape to get the point across and move on, you know? Like, you don't have to keep working at it. Yeah, oh, I mean, 20 years of success will do that to you. Man, that's just... it's like it's fun to make. Like, I understand why he does this. Like, if you just following the flow of how he draws, it's like, this is fun. It's because you're not carrying like so much about little, like, oh, I better get all these little textures in and all this stuff. You're like, nope, big ass shape. You know what it is. That's hair, baby. Then he got dumped. But like, look at that. It's like watching a master's shortcuts and being like, wow, I couldn't have imagined that. My like, I'm too afraid to be different in that regard. Like, I know I make nightmare stuff, but I try to keep it like in the realm. This is that's like the symbol he in Japanese. But like, yeah, that's a fuck yeah, you know that's a pocket. And I feel like you can almost like fill in the blanks just by looking at like the rest of these shapes. Because the language of them is so strong. Let's see how close I got. Well, I was generous. God, the freedom of just knowing when you're good enough to take the shortcut and be like, they'll get it. And of course, I don't mean shortcut as a derogatory. I mean like a visual shortcut. Like only producing the outline and being like, oh yeah, that's Mickey Mouse. Like that kind of like association. And the other thing that people don't tell you near as much, feels like something they only teach you later or something you find out on your own, is the asymmetry is the spice of life. If you make everything perfectly symmetrical, you've made the most perfect yet boring drawing. I also like this thing he does, where he'll cut away something instead of like filling it in behind. That way it reads a lot more. That's also like it's kind of a bold choice as well, you know? Like, if I made those decisions, I'd be panicking. Alright, I'm gonna switch colors and we're gonna go for these smaller trace these smaller shapes. Like, look at this. It's almost like a bunny. Like the profile of a rabbit. Like, where do you bring that stuff? Oh, I could see whale too. I got you. Man, just as I do style studies, just be prepared for me to gush. Also, something I have not been brave enough to do is like squish the eyebrows into the actual eye. I'm like, no, it has to be separate or else no one will know and no one will realize that I know how eyes look. I guess that's the fear, is I always feared people thinking I was incompetent by not doing it the right way. Does that make sense? Does anyone else have that? And just look at this big, like, kidney bean shaped mouth. Beautiful. Huge, exaggerated. That's what cartoon is. Man, if I had realized this earlier and leaned into it instead of trying to like reorient myself for like serious art, I probably would have been done with Mr. Owl by now. Look at that. A wrinkle line that goes off of the face. Fearless. I guess I did accidentally end up covering all the rest of the shapes. Alright, let's take that away. Look at that. That's just me tracing, man. Look how vivid that is already. Well, I can't do any of that perfectly, but it's important to do what feels good. Because if you enjoy it, well, I'm not gonna say if you enjoy it, people will come, because that's not been my experience. But you know, oh god, the ads. Oh, I didn't. I guess I'll take this opportunity to go back in and do the mouth. I guess I also really gelled with Penny Arcade because the way Mike and Jerry, or Tycho and Gabe as they are in comic, reminded me a lot of how my brother and I interact. It's pretty funny. Welcome home. For whoever got thrown into ad hell, I was just pointing out that I am grabbing the mouth shapes too, because that's also a part of study. Like the really expressive facial features. Alright. I guess I should grab his Pac-Man eyeballs. Oh, these guys also put out a couple of video games. I think there might be 3 chapters of it called the On the Rain-Slick Precipice of Darkness. Oh. Four. Oh, 4th chapter. Okay. Alright, let's do some draw overs to see what I guess we'll just do charcoal color. Alright, let me try and break down these eyebrows real quick. So they're like a half circle with an antenna. Again, like I said, this is me. We're going over the bigger shapes, hopefully, so I can start to understand his language. Yeah, so half circle plus some embellishment. Kind of is like, man, I'm trying to think of like, I guess it's just like a really curvy rectangle. And of course we see the Waka Waka eyeballs, and that is great for having that like sheen in the corner of your eyes. Plus it's a callback to his t-shirt. My man loves Pac-Man. Yeah, so Waka Waka eyes. I don't know that I can make any big determinations about his eye, like whole eye shape right now, because this one, you know, we got almond, And this one's a bit more bulbous. I mean, I guess if you think about where it terminates on the other side, where the other edge of it is, it would be more of like a football shape. So we might have something there with a football. Hike. The only synonymous thing I see in all of this is there's not like a flat line anywhere. It is all curved. Of course, got the Oh, no problem. Hope everything is good. Like, look at this. Even when like it comes to this point, it's all curves. Well, I put that tangent there. That's not his work. Yeah, and even this, it curves in, and then it curves there. I wonder how much conscious thought went into like making sure he didn't have a... Oh yeah. I wonder how much conscious thought he put into making sure he had no like flat lines. This curve, curve, curve. And it feels like the more exaggerated I make my movements, the more they actually match the energy of the piece more. Like I was being reserved trying to make sure I got the trace right, so I wasn't getting the energy, but you just start whipping that pencil around and it starts coming together. Like, look at that. If I got rid of that... Okay, mine was too flat. Good God. That's much better. This is going to be a fun exercise. Okay, maybe not go like buck wild. I still gotta... I told you it was. I was just commenting. I said both of those things. I think you might have checked out. I was commenting whilst you were getting pie that it feels like the more like rip roaring I make my pencil movements, like the more Like, hwah. But yeah, I was commenting, like, it seems like the less I think about it and the more I just do, well, you would have to be here, Timmy. That's probably hurdle number 1 to the free pie that I have brought. Imagine if I just started a Pie of the Month club, just abandoned art, just started shipping people pies. Not make the pies, ship the pies to people. Don't goad them. Be a gracious pie winner. Not a gracious pie loser. Another thing I've noticed is that he really doesn't. I started going off and doing my own thing based off of inference. But yeah, man. No, I wouldn't assume it was a descriptor. Like a description copter. Average. What did I not do? The hands. Again, it's that idea that there's no like sharpness in it really. Even the edges that he's defining are like rounded. He looks much more menacing without a mouth. And I think that's something else I can learn from him is not using too many lines. Like I need to pretend like there's a critical mass of lines that I can accumulate. I guess that would be an interesting... There's a doodly-doo idea. trying to figure, like, using as few lines as possible to create a specific drawing. Having to count my lines. This is an easy shape to determine. Definitely started out as just a bean, but turned into like a sharp expression of disgust. Oh, you know what? I didn't actually read the comic to you guys. Let me pull that comic back up. Hold on. Because they need to be given its proper credit. Let me turn everything else down. So the dude with the black hair is Mike's character, Gabe, and the other character is the avatar for Jerry. So he says, "Hey, you son of a bitch. Why didn't you activate your Skybound art? Because of you, I was unable to complete my full burst. Just so we're clear at the top, I will never help you complete a full burst. It's not going to happen once. And why would I ever ask you again after this affront, a partial burst? I can't make you burst. If we're going to play together, we have to burst at the same time. Just watch me when I'm uninstalling this game." Oh. Honestly, I don't know. Was it Grand Blue Fantasy Relink? I'm not familiar with the game. But yeah, it's usually game-based humor. God, that one struck me in the funny bone. I know it doesn't seem like it now, but I'm very tired. What caffeine is for. I do remember watching an episode of Penny Arcade TV, which is on their site, penny-arcade.com, if you're interested. And they talked about, for one of the series they worked on with another artist that they employ, they would take silly putty and like squeeze it in random like shapes, and that was like the shape of that character or the shape of that character's head or something like that. So they literally would just like squish it in whatever way and be like, okay, I have an idea from this. And I think that's really cool. All right. Finish up this mouth and then maybe we'll move on to automata or something else. Like, if you look at it and how a lot of people would have probably done this, you see how this arc, but he went the extra mile and really exaggerated these teeth. Okay, yeah, you can see it start to take shape with these big shapes here. Like, let me take these out. Like, just that is like a perfectly fine mouth drawing, you know? You got the differentiated top and bottom teeth. We all know mouth. And the addition of the tongue. So that way you know, like, the emotion behind it. So you know there's some volume to it. Because usually when you're talking, the tongue is not super visible. But if you're shouting, of course, you know, yeah. Take that curved line at just the right place. And then man. And again, nothing is perfectly straight and nothing is pointed. Or at least not very pointy. There's also a fun idea to, like, not depict the teeth in the middle, but just have, like, the tongue and that, like somehow his disgust is hiding some of his mouth. Hey, Supervans, did you hear that? I'm gonna check that noise really quick. Let me turn this music back up so y'all can jam. I'll be right back. We're back. It was just the door shutting. It was just rather loud this time. Oh, now's probably a good time to remind everybody that the playlist or the sound we're listening to is by White Bat Audio. It's a copyright-free, royalty-free music thing. I'm just shouting it out. I've not had any problems with them or, what was it? Oh, there was another one I was using. Now I feel like a jerk. I shouted it out before. Just for anyone curious or it's pretty cool music. And I think some of these are like the instrumental version. I think there's a way to like find the ones with lyrics if that's your bag. Okay. Alright, so we've investigated these shapes. We traced it. We made our own draw over. Not bad. So we know nothing pointy, or at least nothing real pointy, and just lots of rounded lines. That's already pretty huge for me. Alright, let me pull up the other one. We're gonna go over to Silver Side, the Automata. Alright, let's pull that in. Oh, it pulled the whole comic this time. Okay, well that's fine. We'll just zoom into what we're interested in. Alright, we already see a break in the mold here. Let's see. Alright, let's just look at this top panel. Whoops. Alright, so let's do it just like the other one. I'm gonna quickly grab this guy, and this guy. Although it's very tempting to just look at everyone, but I don't have the time for that. My wrist probably wouldn't hold out. Alright, look at this. Look at this nice big round head. Just a little dip in it though. Just a little dip. So also worth noting, I guess, the first comic was pulled from today. So 2/9/24. This comic is from 2014. So we're already going to see differences in how he draws, because that's a decade apart. So this is pretty interesting. Oh, I guess we're in ads. Alright, looks like people are back. I just started grabbing some lines and shapes. I don't remember if I said it. Oh, no worries. Yeah, we haven't even gotten into like line weight or any of that other stuff. This is just me geeking out over what shapes he picks and like the shapes of his line. I mean, it's always worth a laugh, I thought. There's a lot of them I've thought about revisiting, but it's like there's a point where you're like, there are so many webcomics. It's easy to just get lost. And there's so many talented ones. Like, it's not even like, oh, there's a bunch of crappy ones. No, these people are like, they're brilliant. I used to, for the longest time, I held on to a folder that I had made, like a de facto list of the ones that like I loved. And don't get me wrong, they're still like, I still think about them time to time. It's just, now I'm in that rat race of I need to be making content. So I started having this fear that I would like unintentionally start ripping off the people that I admired, which I've now realized is just part of learning how to do art. But I was self-taught, so I was never like, no one was telling me to like redo other people's art. And I've always been really particular about trying to maintain like what little individuality I have. Alright, let me drop that away. Look at that. I will say something though here, okay? I told you that these comics are 10 years apart. So this is from 2014, and we talked about not having like sharp points or anything like that. You can already see that we have, let me make another layer. We do have, oh, where's the point I was looking for? Oh, I think it was more like in the nostril area, like we have a sharper shape there. His eyebrows actually end in like points, which was something we weren't seeing. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's a sharp eyebrow. I also realized that wait, basically, is that Nathan Pyle? Is that the one? I think I had one of their books. I think I do like a fucked up 5, I think. Hold on. Oh god, now I can't think of it. Oh boy. Well, when I see one of my other drawings again, I'll figure it out. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out. He's still taking a lot of care to not have like straight lines. Like everything still has like a life and a curve to it. Scott Meyer. Okay. Yeah, this shape is weird. It's like, I guess it's like he 3-dimensionally put like a pyramid on his nose and then just gave it a fun shape. Would be my guess. He said, well, what if we made it round? Anyway. Alright, let's get back. I want to check out this robot. Okay, so this one's pretty easy. So I say. So we still get like a half oval, but with sharp features. I'm sure they purposely did that to like outline that this is a robot. But still plenty of curved lines. Hard to shake a whole style just for one character. But even looking at some of like the collar now, it's a little bit more rigid on the automata. He's not as concerned with keeping his lines bendy. Probably trying to make sure he keeps the like body language of like rigidity. I like how he does this bunching. It's almost like if line art was graffiti. If that makes any sense. Yeah, but this is such a cool job. Like, look at this guy. He's just... He's organic, so he's round in shapes. Like, his like, organic characters have, like, squiggles as their face shape, because, you know, it's not... what I was saying before, symmetrical and rigid. There's so much like shape changing. But then you go to this automata and these buildings, and they have similar line structures, like an edifice and a robot share shape language and line language. It's super cool. His very pointed features. I don't know if it's entertaining at all to get an artist perspective of another artist. I find it intriguing. And I used to be a teacher, so deal with it. Yeah, like even his wrinkles are more rigid. I do like this though. This like partial eye outlet. That's pretty cool. Like the idea that his orbital stuff just like hangs out outside of that. Oh man. This is the kind of shit that made me want to like pursue art as heavy as I am. Oh. It's making me pretty nostalgic. All right, we'll do this guy. And then we'll move on to the wheels. Wheel Saint, which is super cool. That's an ongoing one, Super Pants, that they're doing. It's a series. I think it's ongoing, if I remember right. Whew. All right. Okay, so I don't think I ever turned the music back down after I came back from my break. Whoops. Anyway, I know I've already pointed out his willingness to go with sharp. Ooh, I like how he does the hat there. Very cool. Simple but effective, like you can't beat it. So still very curves. What a head shape. I guess if you do take like the more cartoon style, everything everyone talks about everything starts off as a bean. That's why everyone says beans are friend-shaped. I for sure probably got some of how I do ears from watching Mike. Look at this nose, man. Like what a shape, man. It's like a really buff calf with a foot. I can't even pretend at figuring out how he came up with this shape. Some of the other ones I have like a good idea, but I don't have shit for this. Alright, so we're still looking at roundish eyes, sometimes more almond, more football. I guess I should say like rugby. So we're still in this circle family for eyes across all the characters we've looked at so far. I do like something I just caught on to. It seems like when he has an eye that's more circular, he tends to put like oval pupils on it, and then when he has something more like amorphous, he puts like a round eyeball in it. Because look at the shape of his pupils with his like more round eyes, and then check out these ovals with a perfectly round oval, perfectly round. Interesting. Imagine if Penny Arcade saw this and they liked what I did and they hired me or something. Weird, right? Yeah. Check it out. So got the more almond shape of Gabe's eye, and then he has the Pac-Man. Which, you know, if you continue that, it's let's look at oh, his eyes are closed. Let's see if there's another example. Yeah, well, you'll just have to either take my word on it or go investigate yourself. Go check out give their old website some traffic. Not that they're hurting for it, but you know, I love them, and as an absolute sycophant, I have to tell you how great they are. And that's the thing, like, if someone looks at your art like this, it's like people tell me I have, you know, a thread through my styles. I think that I go pretty wildly on a spectrum, but people are like, no, I can see it in all your stuff. And I'm like, fucking how? Will you tell me what my art style is? I do like this simple rounded rectangle with a hanger on of a isosceles triangle. And this part is also still true. If you look at it, he could have left it with just this one like tooth line. And you know, for a lot of people that's more than sufficient. You know, add in the tongue or the, you know, or I have that inverted. This is the anyway, going back to my point, like, it may not be a thing he's consciously done. Sometimes you just work things out and you're like, well, that's just what happened and that's how it's happening. I'm having so much fun making these shapes. But yeah, like just the little difference he makes, like defining these teeth along that, like that tooth line. Like he keeps the broad shape there, but he sections it up and it reads really well. Oh, so cool. All these years and there's still stuff I can learn from him. I mean, their longevity alone makes them someone to take advice from, right? Imagine making a webcomic when webcomics were not a way to make a living. You were just doing it literally because of how much you loved it. And it was something to do to sharpen your skills while you thought you were going to become like an artist or a writer. These guys had each other and they just were sharpening their skills together, and it's amazing. I've wanted a like Jerry Mike creative collaboration for like the entire history of me trying to make this my job, you know. It's hard though, because, you know, money's a thing. Not everyone is willing to, you know, put some of their needs on the back burner just so they can make time for yeah, it was yeah, with the advent of, you know, Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff, like now we're seeing just truly how many talented artists are out there, and it's like when people don't want to patron the arts or, you know, it's not economically viable to be a patron of other artists, like it does turn into a little bit of a competition that the new people are at a disadvantage of, and they either have to do what makes sense, which is follow the trend of like what they see becoming popular faster. I don't blame anybody for that. Or you do what I do and beat your head against a wall for literally ever and then never get anywhere. Or you just get real good. I haven't done that either. I also heard an interesting well, interesting you said that. I do believe that them being a duo makes it like you have a great writer who understands comedy and prose, and then you have an artist that is really good at communicating through their shapes, and they're like, it's a double whammy of like context and storytelling, even for like these 3-beat comics. But it is a well-known fact that the best artists are not always the successful artists. The successful artists are the ones that actually don't just buckle down and do art. They're the ones that learn how to do marketing and business and commerce. Like, they learn the business as a whole. And that's any industry. That's music. Like, there are people out there making some of the best music in the world and not getting noticed. Why is that? They're not hitting the algorithm right. They're not marketing the way that people want it to be marketed to. Like, and there's not really a room for counterculture because, I mean, everything's counterculture. Is we're approaching dystopian, you know? So anything that makes reasonable or good sense is counterculture. What was it? It really does, and it's funny to see how fast some of those people change their tune. Yeah. But it's that, it's the... Oh, we're in ads again. Dang. But it's so much easier now to share like something new that you found with just truly so many people. Like, there are people that make a living off of essentially reposting or reacting to other people's stuff, which, you know, in theory you want to bring light to the original artist, but like, essentially you're using that content to just get your numbers. You can't guarantee that helps anybody. And your success doesn't mean anything anyway. Yeah. It's a drop of a hat. Oh, these hands are funky. I'm gonna have a fun time extricating shapes out of that. let's look at that. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, wow. Alright, time to examine it. Ooh. Missed his arm. Oh, God. Okay. Now that should be it. Alright, so we have 3 people and 3 sets of shape languages. I missed a few things. Hold on. Okay, let's go to our top layer here. Their trusty charcoal color. And we're gonna investigate the bigger shapes. Alright, so I'm seeing maybe this character started out with like this egg shape. I'm beginning to think that ident or the concave or convexness is like just not a shape thing he does, but maybe it's just like a style choice. So maybe they winnowed it down like this. Like, okay. I also like the idea of putting these ears at the bottom of the eye. It really like stretches his face out. It's fun. It's like cool because it's unnaturally that way, you know what I mean? Alright, so this is probably like a diamond. They got sculpted down, you know? These weird beans, man, that I don't have anything for that except for like lips, like little mouths. But I doubt that was what he was thinking when he made them. Yeah, just look how high up the mouth is from the bottom of his, that exaggerated cartooning. Something I'm gonna have to devote way more time into studying that for sure. Yeah. It's hard to determine his like amorphous shape underneath the clothes. 'Cause it looks like his neck starts like here. Then like it's also weird because this character has like he's got like this like chin, probably partially because of the like collar shirt like pushing everything in, but he's got like jowls, but he's got this kind of like thinner frame, unless we're looking in like his torso comes out like here, and then he would be, and maybe that's what he had in mind when he was drawing it. What shapes? And then he just had those like even looking at it like this, it's easy to remember like what this dude had going on, you know? Or like a semi-reasonable idea. And that's me with aphantasia. And then for this, he rounded that and made like pointy nostril, and then this little whoop. Yeah, I can see how he started shaping that down. Like, yeah, like a nostril would be here, kind of. He had that like way too close, worried meh. And then this was actually more of like a check mark, I believe. Oh, closer with the first one. But yeah, I mean, trying to imagine his neck is like near nightmare fuel. But he has like these sloping shoulders, like of someone who's just defeated. I was close. Mouth needed up higher. All right, let's look at. I mean, I already went over the face. Pretty simple there. Like imagining. Some people might refer to the technique I'm doing here as a draw through, where you're like drawing the back of the image, like stuff that's going to be covered anyway, to get like the full picture. So this is obviously a play off of an ear and a head. but with like this real flat mask up front, which is so freaking cool. Yeah, and I looked at, we already talked about how a lot of these lines are stiffer. Robot, you get it. Alright, let's look at Mr. Police Investigator here. I mean, look at this. Oh, I see it now. Classic egg with chin. One interesting thing, I think, at least a few of his characters have, is that it's not like usually see people do this, or like if you're doing 3/4, it's like blam, right? Like it's a continual line. But some of his kind of like go and then they do this. Maybe he makes a line of action for the face before he designs it and figures out what would be like cool based on that. That would be way harder. If he did that, that's a lot of brain power. But anyway, yeah, so this guy actually has more of a traditionalized anatomy, where the top of the ear kind of is like where the bottom of the eyebrow is, if you like draw a line back. So this guy's got a more natural and anatomical face, and this guy has like this elongated egg. The truly perplexing part is this nose, man. Where did he get this shape? It looks like he picked a radish or something. It's like, yep, that's a nose. It works and it's super cool. I'm not saying any of that, but like, just how? Where did you go to get it? And also, I like these look like those message boxes, like the text notification almost. Just box with tail, like a dialogue box. That's what I was going for. Dialogue box. Very cool. And of course, we talked about the whole oval to circular debacle. He's got half moon shapes in every damn thing, which gives a consistent, ley line. That's, again, not pooping on anybody here. This wrist is interesting. This hand, it's so wiggly. But I mean, I can see it. Like, that's your exterior radial whatever. And there's the heel of your palm. Like, it all makes sense. It's just super interesting how he put it together. And the ultimate starter kit hand shortcut of like gluing essentially 2 fingers together. Yeah, I mean, also considering that this was like a storyline. Right. Yeah, like, and you can see between like these shapes, like how much like less he's worrying about it, you know, versus over here, you know, there's, you know, a bit more intricacy like happening, you know. So it's also, I think, an element of this was a storyline, like a novella, like a comic novella, versus their like 3 days a week gag comic. So like you can see the time attribution. And I wonder too, if he had this to redo, would he use a lot of those shortcuts that he's figured out, like the bolder shapes, the more easily digestible. For what it's worth, I think he did perfect with this. Like he matched all of it. He matched everything very well. But yeah, I mean, man. See, this kind of stuff is like what just... Sometimes you gotta take a step back and just go back to how to love doing the art and what's fun, not what's due, what's the next thing, how do I hook the next person. Sometimes there's something to be said about just having fun with your art. Yeah, and I think you were fighting with your audio issues, but I was talking about, you know, silhouette being one of the most important character design aspects. I personally feel like I'm getting better at that. Not just to give props to myself here for a second. I'm really excited about wherever the heck I put it. I'm excited about this. Cryptid cleaners. Because I think I took some of those lessons sometimes it was a baseball bat of a lesson. Sometimes I had to learn by attrition. But like, I feel like these guys have some kind of like silhouette like recognition. I do think maybe this guy's too generic, but we'll see. I really like her. I definitely gave her like the Mickey Mouse treatment. Well, actually, it's because these started out as silhouettes. I think that's the only reason they turned out as interesting as they are. I wonder if I have a picture of the, like, the step before. I don't think I do. Well, to be fair, that's I guess I'm instead of like trying to have like this range, like you were saying, I'm like, I'll have 3 styles, thank you. One that's like super cartoony, one that's like semi-serious, and then something, I don't know why I said another one. But I feel like my style, it follows more along a comedy spectrum, if that makes any sense. Like, even though this looks dire and like there's an eldritch monster here, like there's an element of comedic value to it, I feel like. Which is fine, that's what this series is supposed to do. It's just trying to like take that like instantly like juvenile look off and put like a serious one on for when I want to tell a serious story. I mean, yeah, like oh, I don't know if I showed the finished version of this on the stream. It's in a video. I made a video of me completing it and talking about the process. It's loading. I finished the boat ghost. Hey, there's like 4 months whose themes will really line up with me working on that. I am. So if you want to, you can go to the YouTube and see a speed draw of how I finished this. What turned into a painting? Yeah, that's why I feel like I really hit my stride with viewer's choice, but like I needed the input of other people to turn into a nightmare, not starting as a nightmare. Let's see. Oh. Do we remember Abaddon? Oh, Afquaso, don't forget. Not don't forget, but I did make that. I did make the fairy emote. You like the human-faced horseflies? This is what my fairy form should have been. Let's see what other nightmares I've made. If you guys see something that you think should be an emote, please tell me. I suck at picking them out. I don't know if I can show that one on stream. Oh man. Peak creepy. When I first got my... That's when I first got my ink pen. And I'm like, I'm gonna draw a bunch of Invader Zim looking shit. And then... How is the butter a nightmare? Nah. I can tell we hit the 2-hour mark, so I'm like, oh, that one. Yeah, that one's pretty fucked up. Man, I'm really excited that I got to do this. I can't wait for the next one. I already have someone picked out, but if someone has an artist they want me to check out, let me know. There are also 2 episodes of Doodly Doos that are going to be out this month that will depict 2 other artists aside from that. So, no, the ads. I was going to end stream. Oh well. I guess I'll get that 0.019 cents. What other nightmare stuff have I done? Oh man. The crossover. I got a lot of compliments for this one, like at conventions and stuff. No one bought it, but I got compliments. I saw the company Ryan works for, they came out with a game, and the idea is to like convince people you're human, and they had the exact same thing. It was like a weird lizard person wearing human skin with a name tag that literally said Steve Human. I'm like, what are the fucking chances? Hey. Yeah, absolutely. Do you need me to send you something? Oh, I understand how that goes. Nice. I hope you're getting some of your other projects worked on. Man. I haven't been on Instagram since yesterday. And whenever I see that you post something on Facebook, oh my god, I'm so proud of you. Every time I see that you upload a photo, I mainly assume that, yeah, it's just shit posting and memes. Well, anyway, it is past 10 o'clock. So we all know I turn into a much uglier pumpkin. So I need to get off of here before I ruin the visage that I'm a normal human being. But I appreciate you guys hanging out with me while oh, you call me pumpkin? It was a setup the whole time. But thanks for hanging out while I did some studying of one of my favorite artists. So, if you didn't want to watch the whole thing right now, but you want to later, next Wednesday is when I get this pants. I've read pants and said pants. Not at all what I intended to do. But anyway, I look forward to seeing you all over on the YouTube, which I know you're doing. LOL. And AF Casio. Well, you're a cheesy keyboard now. Well, before I Midwestern on some more or go trying to promote myself like a fool, check the links. There's stuff everywhere. Have a good night. Have a good weekend. I will see you Tuesday for some jamming. And Thursday's productive art / maybe viewer's choice if people throw some suggestions my way. And Friday will be... surprise, is going to be another fairy type art stream, but in a different manner. I have a different idea for this one. So bye everyone, have a lovely night over what's left of it. Hopefully you don't work tomorrow and you can enjoy. Yeah, I should find some other hellacious fairy quizzes. Good night, everybody. Keep arting.